Hello my love, and welcome to your Tantra practice. My name is Katie and I will be guiding you today. So we're just going to start by closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable, or you can gently soften the gaze. And we'll bring our awareness to the breath. Just noticing, are you breathing quite quickly or slowly? Does your breath feel deep or does it feel quite shallow? Does it feel a little shaky or does it feel quite smooth? So just noticing without judgment, accepting we are where we are today on the mat. And as we do so, continuing to observe the breath, we'll just take a moment to give ourselves a little bit of gratitude for choosing to take part in this Tantra practice today. Continuing to observe the breath. And maybe those breaths get a little bit deeper now. As you inhale, you might feel the abdomen expand, so you're really creating space in the lungs for all that air to flush in. And as you exhale, you might feel the abdomen contract, maybe coming in and up a little bit, so you can really support the lungs in emptying all of that air out. Inhale to expand through the abdomen. And exhale to pull the abdomen in and up. So we'll just take a couple more breaths like that. And feel free to let out a sigh on your exhale. Sound is always welcome in our Tantra practice. Maybe take one or two more big exhales or sighs. Making sure we're sitting up nice and straight now. So we're pulling up from the crown of the head, but we're not sticking the chest and the pelvis out. So we're just gently relaxing the lower back, keeping the chin nice and lifted, and this sense of upward pulling energy or prana moving up through the body. Shoulders relaxed down the back. And we turn up the corners of the mouth to ignite a little inner smile. As you do so, placing the left hand right over the center of the heart at Anahata Chakra, and placing the right hand on top. So taking a moment, just smiling down to your heart, really feeling the love that is in your heart. That strong, potent love energy that exists inside of Anahata Chakra, the heart chakra, energy center in the body. And if you're ever struggling to tap into this, you can always just think of something or someone or a place that you love. And from here, we'll bring the right hand just below the belly button. Again, the palm in the center. So we're over Swadhisthana chakra here, Muladhara chakra, and Manipura chakra. Tantra really works with these lower three energy centers. in particular here, we're tuning into the womb. So this practice is called the heart-womb river. And we're really visualizing this golden thread that weaves between the heart and the womb, also known as Hridaya Yoni Nadi, the heart-womb river. So we have our left hand over Anahata chakra, and the right hand really focusing in on these lower energy centers, particularly the womb. And as we inhale, we feel the energy, the breath flowing down that golden thread from the heart to the womb, feeling the womb expand. And as you exhale, the energy travels back up that golden thread from the womb to the heart. Inhale, heart to womb. Exhale, womb to heart. Inhale, heart to womb. Exhale, womb to heart. So now just moving with your own breath, continuing with this visualization of the golden thread, the energy traveling down from the heart to the womb as you inhale, and the energy flowing from the womb to the heart as you exhale. Taking a couple more breaths here. Then we'll relax the hands down. And we'll slowly make our way into child's pose, Balasana. So you might swing the toes around to the side, coming through tabletop position, bringing the toes together but not crossed, and then you can either have the knees together or you can spread them nice and wide. So just whatever feels good for you, depending on what your body feels like it needs in this moment. So you can either have the arms active, stretching out, or you can just let them relax. And your forehead may come down to the mat, or you can stack your wrists one on top of the other and allow your forehead to rest here. Staying in this position, I'll be guiding you now through Yogini or Garbha Mula Bandha. So remaining in child's pose, this is the easiest pose to practice Mula Bandha in. Now, if you are menstruating or pregnant, you are going to continue with the flow of downward flowing energy. So this force is called apana, and as we exhale, we allow that apana to release on the exhale. We're envisaging the energy coming out through our wombs, just as our menstruating or pregnant bodies may desire. And then, as we inhale, we're just gently squeezing, just feeling a little bit of sensation as if we're holding in the need to go for the toilet. And then we're exhaling to fully release. And this is the natural flow of energy in a woman's body. However, one of our tantric practices is to reverse this flow of energy. So this downward flowing force, we then bring up through the body. And this practice allows us to energize the body and feel that sensation that would normally flow out through the body come up and expand throughout the entire body itself. So it's a really energizing practice. So if you're pregnant or menstruating, exhale to release, inhale to very gently squeeze. If you do not meet that criteria, we are doing the opposite practice, which means that as we exhale, we may notice that our belly buttons and our tummies, as we were doing before, come in and out and contract, and this supports our lungs in exhaling the air. And then as we inhale, as we were doing before, we expand through our abdomens. And as we do this, we feel a sense of releasing, perhaps, in our lower pelvic muscles. So this practice is really activated in the cervix and in the vaginal walls. But if you're not quite able to feel that sensation or squeeze that muscle, if it's not something that you've practiced, again, it might more so feel like you're squeezing, holding in the need to go to the toilet, or just following that lift as you exhale of the abdomen, coming up to support those lungs with the exhale. And then as you inhale, and all of that air expands the lungs, expands through the abdomen, it expands through the womb, you might find that there's a natural tendency to release any muscles in the pelvic region, actively letting anything go as much as you can. And then exhale to squeeze gently in and up. Inhale to expand, relaxing any muscles, any tension you might feel around the womb, the vagina, the vulva. Exhale, gently pulling that energy in and up. Inhale to expand through the womb. Exhale to give the womb a little cuddle with all those muscles. Inhale to expand. Exhale to cuddle your womb. And we'll continue to do this for a few deep breaths. Beautiful, so you can let go of that practice now, just returning to a natural breath. And wherever your hands are, you're going to walk them underneath the shoulders, bringing them towards the knees, slowly walking up. And then we'll swing our toes back round to the front. And we're coming into Buddha Konasana, butterfly pose. So there's a couple things you can do to help you. We are bringing the soles of the feet together, but first you might want to sit up on a pillow, and you can also put some pillows underneath your thighs to support you here as well. So just know that's available. And you can also shimmy your bum back or stretch your toes out in front of you, just to give you a little bit more space. And all of this is so that we can make sure the spine is easily nice and lifted and you're not feeling hunched over and uncomfortable. So everything you can do to support yourself to feel expanded through your chest, through your heart center, let that love flow. And wherever you feel comfortable, you can then hold onto your shins, your ankles, your feet, or your toes. It can feel nice if you can reach to hold onto your feet and just take a moment to really open the book. Spread out through the toes. The toes are known, or the feet are known as the wings of the womb. There's loads of nadis or energy channels that connect all the way up. So it's important to wear socks during your yoga practice if you are menstruating. So when you found yourself in a comfortable position, we're just going to do our full butterfly womb pilgrimages to help warm up the hips and just get the energy flowing in this part of the body a little bit. So, sitting up nice and tall, inhale to pull forwards, arching the back, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. And as you exhale, just leaning over to the left side. And you might start to feel your tummy button pull inwards as you begin to round through the back. Tuck the chin to the chest. Leaning over to the right side. Beginning to push the abdomen forward, push the chest forward gently. Expand through the chest, pull the shoulders back, lift the chin. And you're welcome to get the neck involved here, just being really gentle, especially being careful when you lift the chin, that we're only lifting to about 45 degrees, making sure to protect all of those precious nerve endings at the back of the spine, at the very top. So we're taking this round in a few circles, and don't worry if it doesn't look perfect or if it feels a bit clunky, because we're just warming up the body here, noticing where feels a little bit tense, where feels like it needs to move a little. And involving the breath, we're inhaling forward, exhaling back. So we'll do about 3 more in this direction. And next time you come to the front, we'll take it in the opposite direction. So we're exhaling as we come back, inhaling as we come forward. And you might start to really lead this from the womb now. So instead of maybe going from the shoulders, like so, really starting to expand through the womb as you come forward, and then give the womb a cuddle as you come back. And if you are quite used to the Mula Bandha practice, you're welcome to involve that here as well. But if it's quite new for you, it might be too much to layer that on top of everything. So just focus on that feeling of tucking the womb in and then expanding as you come forward. Tucking the womb in and then expanding. And take about 3 more in this direction. And when you next come to the front, just sitting up tall for a moment, taking a few deep breaths in and out. Let out a sigh if you want to. We've just worked out a load of tension in the hips, so it might feel good to let out a few deep sighs. And we store a lot of emotion in our hips, as women in particular. So don't be surprised if this makes you feel a little emotional and you feel the need to take some deep breaths and some stretches. Just allow that to happen and the energies that want to be released from the body to move through with your movements and with your breath. So, when we're ready, closing the legs like a book, bringing the soles of the feet to the ground, And we'll just take a little counter stretch. So we're going to stretch the hands out behind us, really pressing into our fingertips to stretch up and straighten through the spine, pressing the chest forward. And then we'll take the feet out nice and wide, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then knock the knees over to one side, just as far as they go, whatever feels nice for a little counter stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then rolling to the other side, nice and slowly, breathing deeply. Coming back to center, maybe just taking it side to side a little more. And you may have shimmied forward, so just shuffling back again, swinging the toes around behind you, and we'll come to stand through tabletop. Now if you're rolling up, making sure you've got the eyes nice and wide open, and bending the knees generously so the back supported by the thighs, pressing into the feet, engaging the glutes, the thighs. Again, the eyes are nice and wide open, and you're breathing deeply. All of this will stop you feeling lightheaded. And just take a moment when you arrive standing to feel your feet planted into the ground beneath you, spreading out through the toes, distributing the weight evenly. And you may want to take the feet out a little bit wider than the hips, just so you're feeling nice and stable, and get a little bend in the knees here as well. So we're moving into our snake circles the womb. Sometimes it's helpful to place one hand on the lower abdomen and one on the lower back, so you can really feel the motion of what we're about to do. So, as you inhale, bending the knees, we'll tilt the pelvis back, up and over. And then as you exhale, the pelvis comes forward, down and under. Inhale, back, up and over. Exhale, forward, down and under. So try not to overthink this one too much. Just see if you can find the rhythm in your body. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. And again, don't worry what this looks like. We're still just warming up the body here and getting the energy flowing. You can move as slowly or as quickly as what feels good for you. Just notice what your body wants today. And when you're ready, we'll take it in the other direction. So this time we're inhaling forward, up and over. Exhaling back, down and under. Inhale, forward, up and over. Exhale, back, down and under. So again, don't overthink it. Just allow those hips to move as freely as possible. Nice full breaths. And we'll do one or two more. Beautiful. So from here, if you've still got the hands on the stomach and the back, just let those go now. Maybe give them a little shake out. Give the shoulders a little shake, the hair a little shake, the head, if you have got your hair loose. Shake your legs out, your toes out. And from here, we're going to take it into some hip circles. So it doesn't matter which direction you start in, but do have a nice generous bend in the knees. And you want to be taking this round so you're feeling a full extension through the hips. You might even feel a stretch in your ovaries as you come around, or your lower back. But not so far that you feel like the hips are about to fall out of place. So just find a nice little balance with this. And again, we're inhaling for the forward half of the semicircle, exhaling back. So your hands might just dangle loose here. It might feel good to place them on the womb. You can even come into Yoni mudra, bringing the thumbs and index fingers together into a triangle and placing the thumbs underneath the tummy button. Or you might just want to let your hands move freely, however they want to. It's all welcome. It's more about the hips here. So just let the hands do whatever feels natural. And these will just act as little antennae to let go of any energy that's being released in the hips. Breathing nice and deeply as you move. About 3 more in this direction. And when you next come around to the front, let's take it the other way. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And see if you can really match the breath to the movement so that you're not holding the breath at any time, but the inhale happens for the full part of the forward circle, and the exhale happens for the full part of the backward circle. Or if you're wanting to speed it up a little, maybe it's an inhale for 1 full circle and an exhale for the next circle. So have a play around here, move intuitively. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And make sure you're getting a nice stretch and you're not focusing too much on what you might be looking like. And we'll do 1 or 2 more. Coming back to a central position and taking a few breaths. And when you're ready, keeping that little bend in the knees. And for this one, you might even want to take the feet out a little bit wider. Just notice what feels comfortable for you. And we're moving into the smiling pelvis. So we are literally creating that smile with the pelvis. And don't overthink this too much. Again, just notice how your body wants to move. You may want to get really deep with it. Just notice what muscles want to stretch. Where does your body want to move? And then go with that. It can be nice to inhale as you come up, exhale as you go down, inhale up. But if you want to move, breathe freely as well, that's okay with this one. And again, just letting your hands flow however they want to. So they may want to just relax down the side of the body. They may want to be placed on the body. Or they may just want to hang around and do whatever they want to do. And that's all perfect. And we'll do about 1 or 2 more on either side. Walking the feet in just a little. And again, taking a few deep breaths. You might feel a little more energized, warm. Maybe your heart's beating a little faster, your breath is quickened. So just notice how that feels in your body, objectively. How does that feel? Sometimes the mind can panic a little bit when the body starts to warm up. So just notice what thoughts are coming. And see if you can just hold it all with love. Whatever the mind's saying, however the body's feeling, whatever spectrum of emotions may be moving through the body. Just seeing if you can objectively notice it without judgment. It's easier said than done, but every time you do, that's a little win. So from here, we'll move into a practice. I don't like to explain too much because it's more complicated to explain than it needs to be. And it's essentially a figure 8 that we're doing. It's an infinity sign. So just notice if you can get your hips moving into this pattern. Doesn't matter which direction you're flowing in. And if you're not quite getting it, just swaying side to side, and then be curious. Maybe let your hips take the lead instead of thinking about it. And really planting your feet into the ground here. Distributing the weight evenly so you feel nice and balanced. And maybe you stick with this, or if this feels quite comfortable, see if you can reverse the direction. So this probably feels a little bit funny, it's the way you won't naturally do it. And there's always taking what you need with the arms, with the hands, just letting them express. And we'll take a couple more rounds here, breathing deeply. And from here, we're going to continue moving. So now we're going to spend a couple of minutes without any guidance of exactly how you're meant to move. And you're just going to feel into your body and notice where wants to have a stretch or an express. What feels good for you? And we're going to try and lead this with the hips. So notice in particular, where do the hips want to move? And then just allow your upper body to follow. And you might find opening up through the chest really helpful. Lifting the chin and pressing into the feet, keeping the knees nice and bent. If you feel comfortable with Mula Bandha, engaging that here, that root lock, will also help you maintain balance. It's what we call engaging the core. Along with Uddiyana Bandha, which is the lock that sits more so at the belly button. And again, we pull that in and up the same way we do with Mula Bandha. So continue to move here and notice if there's one part of your body that hasn't moved yet. Maybe the ankles, maybe the hands, the fingers, maybe the head. And really activating the breath here, breathing, expanding through the womb. And as you exhale, pulling in, engaging the core. So take any stretches you haven't taken yet. Maybe there's another part of the body that just needs a little bit. And then carefully, mindfully, making our way down to our mats, whatever way feels comfortable. And we're going to continue this free movement as we slowly make our way down to our backs. So you might want to move through some cat-cow movements here. Just working from tabletop And eventually making your way down to lie on your back. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Just lifting up the tailbone a little and then placing it back down. Lifting up the shoulders, placing them back down. And bringing the hands into Yoni Mudra with the thumbs and index fingers together. And we're moving into one of my favorite practices, which is Yoni Shakti Puja, or honoring the power of the womb. So as we inhale, we're going to feel the power of our womb expanding so much, like a big moon or sun expanding, opening up our hands, stretching through the fingertips, rotating at the elbows. And as you exhale, you're going to use the power of your hands to concentrate all of that power, all of that Shakti back into your womb. Inhale to feel that expansion as the breath fills the lungs. And exhale to pull everything back to the center as the lungs empty. Inhale to expand, feeling that power, that electrostatic energy through your hands, through your womb. And exhale, bringing the hands down, concentrating that power into the womb. As you inhale, you may even tilt your pelvis back a little here, expanding. And as you exhale, you can tuck the pelvis under, giving your womb a little cuddle as you concentrate that energy. Inhale, expand, pressing the pelvis into the mat. Exhale, concentrate, gently lifting the pelvis. And we'll take a few more deep breaths like this, just at your own pace. It might feel good to breathe in through your nose, and then maybe out through your mouth. And feel free to let out any sound here, let out any sighs, as we come closer to resting in our practice. Taking about 3 more breaths here. Really giving this everything you've got in your imagination, feeling that womb power expand. And then concentrate right at the center of your womb. And when you've taken your final breath, bring the hands into Yoni Mudra, walking the knees and the feet together, and then allowing the knees to fall out to the sides, bringing the soles of the feet together. If this feels like a little bit too much in the hips here, you can put some cushions underneath your thighs to support, and you can also have cushions under your back and your head to support as well. So we're coming into our final practice here, Hiranyagarbha, the golden cosmic womb. And this is where we just take a moment to meditate on, to visualize, to appreciate the power of the womb, the energy that exists in this part of a woman's body, and all that it is able to do. Allowing the breath to become natural. Noticing the rise and fall of the womb underneath your hands. And allowing the Hridaya Yoni Nadi to open here, that golden thread between the heart and the womb. Filling the womb with love and gratitude. And if it helps you to focus, you might visualize the breath flowing down that golden thread from the heart to the womb as you inhale. As you exhale, just seeing that energy, that air flowing up the golden thread from the womb to the heart. You can lie here for as long as you'd like. And when you're ready, helping the thighs close with the hands. And maybe just extending out into Shavasana or coming up to seated, rolling onto one side. Your practice is now complete. Om Namaha Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu and Jai Ma.